Hi, it's Tom from BK Nutrition, and today I want to talk about a technique I use with clients called the RUDDER technique. Now, the RUDDER technique is also sometimes I refer to it as the Terminator timeline or the Back to the Future timeline. It's all about correcting things that have gone wrong in order to get you back onto the right path. I also talk about this in what I call the if, this, then scenario. So lots of little terms. The RUDDER technique is something that I like acronyms, so I like to have my techniques with a name. It's easy to remember. So the RUDDER technique is designed to take you back to where you needed to be after you've gone off course, hence rudder, like rudder on a boat, nice and easy to remember. And we employ it, but you have to be conscious. You have to be conscious that you are going off course, that something is happening, and we're consciously correcting the course to get you back onto it. Now, the reason why we need to be conscious is because most people, when they are doing diets or whatever, trying to change something in their life, what will happen is they will have a plan that they're following, so they'll be on course. But life is not simple. It doesn't follow a nice course that you've laid out to it. There's always something that's going to come up and put you into a situation where it's trying to take you away from what you're doing. Now, normally this will be a situation where it tries to take you back to your previous life, your previous course. So imagine you are on say if you're overweight and trying to lose weight, you're on a course where you are overweight, you're overeating, and so you have to go a new course where you're in a calorie controlled environment, maybe you're doing a bit more activity. So you've planned out this new route. Now, the thing is, until you've done that for a long period of time, until you've got consistency in your actions, the old route will still be there. I refer to it as your previous life. So that will always be there because that is easier to go back to because you've lived that for X amount of years, overeating, not exercising enough, etc., etc. That is what your body and mind is used to. So we've got to do this new route and for a long period of time to make that your new life. So the danger is, and this is the RUDDER technique, so you're in your new routine, so that's R, you're trundling on your new routine, an unusual event happens, so that's you, and the unusual event might be you haven't got any food in the fridge, or the kids are late home from school, or you pick up the kids late and you haven't got time to eat, or you're all hungry or whatever, stop off at McDonald's. So then you're off onto a different route where you different plan from your ideal diet, or anything that happens which takes you away from your planned routine of dieting, exercising, everything else. So you go, an unusual event happens, and then it diverts you, that's D, and then you're into the danger zone, so that's the second D. So in this danger zone, that is almost where you're back to your previous life, where you go back to your old habits. So your old habits might be ordering a takeaway, or it might be binging on chocolate, or it might, any of these things that you're wanting to change. The diversion takes you back into the danger zone, where then you potentially are going to be back onto your previous life. But the problem is when you're back there, it can be incredibly hard to push yourself back on. It's like falling off the wagon. It can be quite hard to get back onto that new routine. Now, if you've ever watched any of my other videos where I talk about the prison diet is an extreme version of this new routine where you're in this prison of restrictive diet, excessive exercise, prison wardens, as in diet gurus, shouting at you, telling you to do this, suck it up, everything else. Think of the Biggest Loser. That is a prison style diet where you only got limited amount of food, you can't eat the foods you like, you've got loads of excessive exercise, and people divert off that course because they can't handle it anymore. What we are looking to create when we're looking to create a diet for life is a new routine which isn't a prison, which allows you to eat the food you like, you can get the body you want. That's what I talk about, and the diversion is actually something pushing you back to where you wanted to be. So you're in that danger zone, where you're going back to your previous life. So what we're doing now, we're going to engage countermeasures. So engaging countermeasures is a process called if, this, then. So if this thing happens, the countermeasures we engage are going to take us back onto our new route. So, and that is return to path. So what we want to do when we're into the danger zone is we want to have pre-planned situations, and you will know what these situations are because they're going to be unique to you. So for example, something that's unique to me is that if I'm sitting down at the end of the evening watching TV, there is a danger that because I like to snack in the evening, that's one of my things I do. I can't stop myself doing it, so I manage that. So say I'll go and get some Pringles from the fridge, from the cupboard. If I get some Pringles from the cupboard, the danger for Pringles for me is that I like Pringles. So I can very easily sit there eating out of the tub until it's gone. So my if this then situation is if I go and get Pringles from the fridge, then I will put them into a bowl. So I've got a small amount to eat, and I'll go back and sit down and make sure the Pringles are in the cupboard. So I have to actually get up and do something to actually go and get more. So you're putting these blocks in place. So my if this then, my engaging countermeasures is putting my Pringles into a bowl, and with a technique called break cues, whereby I'm limiting the amount that I can have so I don't overeat. Say it might be something that you do. Say, for example, you're in work, and this is one of my other clients. So they at this client's work, they had something called the diabetes table, which was aptly named because it was full of sugar and cakes and all that sort of stuff. And then the fact that they called it the diabetes table, but still had it there because they knew it was unhealthy for them. It was not good to have all these treats out, but yet they still had it there. And my client was sat quite close to that. Now he's trying to lose weight, and he's got all this stuff there tempting him. So what we did was we put an if this then situation in place, that if he was hungry and the diabetes table was there tempting him, then he would have snacks ready. So he had fruit snacks and all these other things right in front of him. So that was the way he would engage countermeasures. If he got hungry and he was like looking over there, oh, I'm going to go to the diabetes table and get a load of cakes and that, oh, actually, I've got my fruit salad here. So that was his engaging countermeasures. If that situation happened, then he's got the fruit snack in front of him. And there was another situation for another client where they would always have a takeaway on a Fridays in their office. So and this is obviously a very much a temptation situation. Oh, let's order takeaways. Let's have McDonald's. Let's have pizza. Oh great, and I'm on a diet and I've got to sit there while you're eating pizza. So their coping mechanism when everyone else is eating pizza and takeaways would say, I'm just off for a 20-minute walk, because they were breaking from work anyway. They would go, yeah, I'm just off for a 20-minute walk, go around the block, come back again. So his if this then was, if everyone orders pizza and takeaways, then I will go for a 20-minute walk. That was his engaging countermeasures. Went off for a walk, come back. By that time they'd eaten all the food, everything else. They were still having a chat, so he's still engaged in the social situation, but he wasn't tempted by the food that was there. So that was his engaging countermeasures situation to return him to his path. So this is going to be specific to you. You've got to think about situations that pop up in your life which are tempting you away, diverting you away from the course you want to follow. I could go into any number of situations that I've dealt with clients, but if you can identify these things, and generally if you write them out on a list, there'll be common things that happen through your day, through your week, that happen say on a Friday, a Saturday or something, which causes you to overeat or to break your habits. If you write all these down, and then you can think about how to engage countermeasures. Now, this doesn't have to be walking around the block or whatever. It could just be having a lower calorie snack ready to have if you get the urge to binge or something. And then there's another video called the Rice Krispie Treat technique, which I'll link to at the end of this, which you can watch, which I've used with another client. There's all these things you can do, but you have to think about what the situations are that's going to happen, and you'll know they happen because this is the reason why you failed diets in the past. You'll know they happen, they keep coming up. Write all those down and then think about, right, if that happens, what am I going to do to counteract that? And here's the thing. The thing that you do to counteract the trigger event has to be easier than the undesirable event. So say, for example, so if I get home and I'm hungry, I'm going to eat a load of chocolate. Well, if your coping mechanism is, if I get home, I'm going to eat a lot of chocolate, actually, what I'm going to do is cook myself a 3-course meal, you're unlikely to do that because it's a harder task to accomplish than just sitting down and eating chocolate. So the thing that you want to do to counteract this sort of binging or whatever you're going to do has to be easier to do than the end result, the undesirable result. So always bear that in mind. And we all have these grand designs of, oh, I'm going to be clean on my diet, I'm never going to cheat. Never going to happen. None of the clients I've ever worked with, myself when I've been doing bodybuilding competition diets, you're never ever going to be 100% on your diet. But how you cope with the triggers that try and take you off the path, that's going to get you closer back to being as consistent as you can be. So I hope this video was helpful, giving you any new ideas. If you need some help, I'm quite happy to help with specific situations that come up. Just put some comments below, or drop me a DM or something. I'm quite happy to give you some advice from work with previous clients. Maybe it'll help you. Maybe watch some of my other videos. There's some other ideas in there. If you got some value from this, please share, please like. All helps with the metrics to get the video out there. And I will see you on the next video. Cheers.